Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, in December of 2016, the 31st legislature approved an agreement forged between Governor Mapp and his administration and VGIL Operation LLC. VGIL and the government agreed to a 20-year lease agreement that would see VIGL spending $27 million to rebuild those horse tracks on St. Croix and St. Thomas and provide horse racers with large purses on race days. However, on St. Croix, the Horsemen Association has alleged that VIGL has already began to rescind on their end of the bargain. News 2's Stephanie Brown reports.
Less than a year ago, Governor Mapp unveiled that VIGL will be investing $30 million into the territory's local horse racing industry, keeping with Mapp Potter's administration's commitment to bolster economic revitalization through sports tourism. The Virgin Islands government and VIGL made a 20-year lease agreement which allowed for VIGL to operate racinos with a limited number of gaming machines. In turn, VIGL will be responsible for several deal conditions, which included refurbishing and expanding the territory's 2 racetracks and providing minimum purse sizes of $100,000 per race day. Today, James Bates stated that VIGL gave the St. Croix Flamboyant Horse Racing Association a verbal agreement on conducting interim races with a purse of $50,000 until September, when VIGL is scheduled to begin operating at both the territory's horse tracks, which he stated the company upheld. However, on August 18th, Bates further informed that the association made another deal with VIGL that official races would be slated starting on September 3rd through December 6th for the purse size of $100,000 per race day.
Now, we went to the same meeting and asked VIGL what's happened to them races that's supposed to start September. One of the guys in the meeting said he don't know anything about that.
Bates further expressed that VIGL brought in track specialists that determined that the running surface was not in good condition.
After VIGL gave us money to run on the track, knowing that the track is not in good condition, why would you put us in harm's way and put our jockeys out there in harm's way and our horse knowing that the track is not good in good condition?
Bates is alleging that VIGL is making excuses to delay horse races so they don't have to pay out the $100,000 as scheduled.
They said they don't know anything about the races starting September, and that's why they bring in people. If you know you have this track and you're supposed to take over September, why you wait a couple days before that you're supposed to take over the track to tell us that the track ain't good and the track ain't this and the track?
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
Now, News 2 did contact the general manager of VIGL Operation LLC, who did contact us but did not provide statements as of news time. Be sure to count on 2. We will keep you updated. Senator Alicia Hansen informed on Friday, as we reported publicly, that Senator Narida Rivera O'Reilly made contact with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, also known as CMS, which provides accreditation to the Wanaflui Hospital. Senator Hansen went on to state in a written document that Senator O'Reilly, as she called, betrayed the people of St. Croix because the acting CEO of the Wanaflui Hospital, Richard Evangelista, as well as the Wanaflui board, did not grant her a special request. Senator Hansen never informed specifically, though, why Senator Hansen contacted CMS. However, while investigating another incident at the Wanaflui Hospital last week, News 2 witnessed stacks of bio-waste behind the hospital in a caged space. Senator O'Reilly spoke to a media source and informed that she did make the decision to contact federal regulators about the Wanaflui Hospital because she believes that the conditions of the hospital are getting worse. She further stated that the lack of urgency demonstrated by the CEO on urgent matters regarding the hospital prompted her to make that decision. Senator O'Reilly expressed that she has the responsibility as a policymaker and chairman of the Health, Hospitals, and Human Services Chair to ensure that patient safety is always first. Well, government officials and local merchants agreed Monday that when the construction to rehabilitate St. Thomas's Main Street resumes, the work will be done only during nighttime hours, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. At a meeting with Main Street and other downtown business owners, Virgin Islands Governor Kenneth Mapp pledged to uphold the original understanding that the construction would not interrupt normal daytime business. The governor and members of his cabinet, who play major roles in the project, had suggested that the work be done on a 24-hour schedule, one block at a time, moving west to east in order to speed completion of the project. However, the heads of the St. Thomas St. John Chamber of Commerce and the India Association of the VI were among those who spoke about the likelihood of business failures in the event that work was allowed during the daytime. Well, following the termination of the original contractor for the Main Street project, the government is receiving new bids until Thursday, August 31st. A number of destination improvement suggestions were offered during the Government House meeting. And be sure to count on 2. We will have more on that meeting. Back-to-school tours are underway. Governor Kenneth Mapp, along with Department of Education Commissioner Dr. Sharon Ann McCollum and Maintenance Director Charlesworth McCarty, toured a few schools in the St. Thomas St. John district, as well as CAHS Edith Williams and Bowski. They were toured by Lieutenant Governor Osbert Potter, the Department of Education Chief of Staff Anthony Thomas, and Territorial Facilities Manager Joseph Sibley to determine school readiness. Here's more from the governor and the commissioner.
Well, I've had the opportunity to visit 4 of the schools in the St. Thomas St. John district today. There are some issues that we are addressing, particularly in the cafeterias and then in a couple of the classrooms, particularly as it relates to air conditioning and windows and a few leaks and some mold that we saw in one of the other schools. I met some very wonderful employees, teachers, paraprofessionals. I met a school nurse today. We were talking about the hopeful expanded role of the school nurse among children. And all in all, for the schools that I visited, I have to say they're generally ready. We're going to get some work done before the children come back to school. The teachers will be here at the end of the week. Yes. And I'm looking forward to the school year beginning. And really, if I had my way and I had the resources, I could tell you I would start with the demolition and reconstruction with some new school facilities. Some of the schools are just so old that we just simply really need to think of a long-term plan in how we do demolition and reconstruction of new modern facilities that can have the security accoutrements, the technology infrastructure, and just a better way to traverse through the school plants and make it good for the children.
I think the governor has adequately stated everything that we've seen today. I really want to say thank you to all the government agencies. This has truly been teamwork in addressing the issues in our schools. I would like to thank Public Works, the Administrator's Office, and all of the other agencies, Fire Department, that will be hosing down our schools as well. We will be ready. As far as I am concerned, we are ready. We are a work in progress. Work will be going on after the students are in the buildings, but we are definitely ready to open.
The Department of Health's proposed fiscal year 2018 budget includes the salaries of a total of 432 positions, according to statements on the legislative floor from Dr. Michelle S. Davis, who is the Virgin Islands Commissioner of Health. From October 2016 to August 2017, the DOH experienced 38 new hires, 17 resignations, 11 retirees, and 5 terminations. Now, this commissioner thanked Governor Mapp for the additional funding the department is set to receive to assist in their many programs, which include support for mental health patients. Further, Senator Tregenza Roach inquired about raises that are expected for the department's employed nurses. Here's more from that session.
Now, I wanted to ask about, I get calls about your nurses, and I think it particularly came up with regard to the last action that the governor vetoed the bill where we were trying to address the salaries of nurses at the Schneider Regional Hospital. So we have a situation where the nurses in St. Croix, those salaries went up. I think the nurses at Schneider Hospital were given a $3,000 stipend last year. I don't think it's a recurring stipend. I could be wrong. But I don't think the nurses at Health have, in addition to your other employees probably, have had any increases for about 10 years. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Senator. Okay. But the Health Department is going to find funding for the nurses' increases.
You're going to find it?
Yes.
That's a good word. Where?
We are going to leverage funding within our current budget and find the money for those increases.
Okay, and when do you anticipate that's going to happen?
It should happen first quarter of this year. The first quarter of the new fiscal year.
First quarter of the new fiscal year.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Meanwhile, the Committee on Finance chaired by Senator Kurt Vile met today to receive testimony on an overview of fiscal year 2018 budget from the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture. The fiscal year 2018 general budget fund for VIDOA is $4,084,000. Now, comparatively to fiscal year 2017, this is a 10.96% reduction. In addition to VIDOA, the Office of the Territorial Public Defender and the Virgin Islands Public Broadcast Systems shared the fiscal year budget. The governor's recommendation is $4,227,000. This is almost $300,000 less than they requested. And Tanya Marie Singh, Chief Executive Officer and Chief Operating Officer of WTJX, stated that their fiscal year 2018 budget request is $4,400,000. Well, no relief for southeast Texas while Louisiana now braces for Harvey's wind and rain. In an update, the storm continues to dump rain on the saturated Houston metro area, where thousands of rescues have taken place, with many more to go. Meanwhile, President Trump got a first-hand view of the storm's wrath. Kristen Holmes has more from the Houston metro.
Harrowing stories.
He went out and kayaked through the rising waters, and he went and got help.
The boat was small, so they have to take the kids and women first. And they said they came back for us. They coming back for us, but they never did.
Amid Houston floodwaters, thousands of rescues, but a city is still trying to keep up.
Don't give up on us. Seek the higher ground. We will get to you.
Harvey's soaking rain is setting records for the continental U.S. South of Houston, in Brazoria County, a dire alert. The Columbia Lakes community was part of a mandatory evacuation on Sunday, but to anyone left, officials warned get out after a levee breached.
The biggest concern is the few folks that may have disregarded our warnings, and we don't want anybody hurt.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump arrived in Corpus Christi, slammed by Harvey's landfall on Friday, for a first-hand look and to praise ongoing cooperation.
It's a real team, and we want to do it better than ever before.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon said the number of National Guard troops in Texas is going to rise, and they plan for a long effort.
We will be doing life-saving and life-sustaining efforts for a much longer period due to the nature of this storm.
Harvey is expected to make another landfall on Wednesday and is also dumping rain on Louisiana, where flooding rescues took place in Lake Charles early Tuesday morning on the 12th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Keeping our eye on the economy, Apple is getting ready to introduce a new line of products. According to the Wall Street Journal, the tech company has scheduled an announcement event for September 12th. Apple is expected to release new iPhones and a new Apple Watch at the event. The new iPhones will mark the product's 10th anniversary. The first iPhone was announced in January 2007 and went on sale June 2007. The new phones are expected to be larger and pricier, with new features including an edge-to-edge display and facial recognition technology. Apple CEO Tim Cook is expected to headline the event. Taking a look at the numbers, we can see everything up. The Dow 56, NASDAQ 18, S&P 500 up 2. Coming up on News 2, we have much more straight ahead, an update on WICO, as well as some back-to-school highlights. That's all coming up next. Welcome back. The West Indian Company Board of Directors met on August 22nd, and the board elected Joyce Dorr Griffin as its chair and Michael Watson as vice chair. The executive committee now includes Dorr Griffin, Watson, and corporate secretary Edward E. Thomas. Two standing committees, finance and strategic planning, are chaired by Watson and April Newland, respectively. Mr. Clifford Graham and his senior staff reported to the board on a number of items as follows. The inner birth project is completed, and the WICO's facility can safely berth 3 super mega ships simultaneously. This new class of super mega ships will approach 184 tons and have a capacity for 6,600 passengers. Preliminary costs are estimated to be approximately $5.2 million. And also, VIPA completed this work as soon as possible. The completed pair can now accommodate 2 Oasis-class ships simultaneously, but there would need to be significant dredging, they say, at the entrance to the harbor and the more expansion of the turn-in basin in the inner harbor. There was some considerable discussion about the recent town hall meeting with FCCA and cruise line executives. Also, phase 1 of the repairs to the GERS-owned Havenside Mall are now complete, and the tenant base is satisfied, they say, with the infrastructure improvements. On the operational side, there is general concern about the sharp reduction in cruise arrivals and its impact on the retail business, rent structure, rent abatement, credit card fees, and more. The board encouraged the CEO to engage in a dialogue with the administrator, CEO of the Government Employees Retirement System, and bring back a joint proposal for resolving some of these issues. It was further noted that there is a need to demolish the old warehouses and replace them with a high-end mixed structure. Governor Kenneth Mapp's effort to improve the local health care and bring new revenue to the territory were highlighted this week in one of the nation's most prestigious and influential publications. The Atlantic, which was founded in 1857, focuses on politics, the economy, foreign affairs, and cultural trends, with a print circulation about 500,000 readers, whom it describes as thought leaders, which include business executives, government officials, and more. The Atlantic has been named one of the top English language magazines, and it's widely read and referenced around the world. Now, in an interview with The Atlantic, Governor Mapp explained what steps his administration is taking to improve access to quality health care in the Virgin Islands and to bring more funding to the territory. Representatives from the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority, the Virgin Islands Economic Development Commission, beneficiaries of the VI EDC Tax Incentive Program, and officials from other local government agencies, they joined together for the 2017 VI EDC Summit that's going on this month, with the theme commemorating 45 years of spurring economic growth. The summit was held today at the Sugar Bay Resort and Spa in St. Thomas, and another one again on Thursday over in St. Croix, August 31st. At the Renaissance St. Croix Carambola Beach Resort. The VI EDC, which administers the VI EDC Tax Incentive Program in the USVI, will also celebrate the 45th anniversary with a reception following the summit on both islands. The summit attendees will also hear remarks from Governor Mapp and representatives from the USVI EDA and EDC. Changing narratives about race, DVSAC is holding some very interesting forums, including this one that takes a look at oppression, disparities, and personal stories will be shared. Talking about race and black culture in the USVI, be sure to call them to RSVP. That's Thursday, August 31st at the SBDC Training Center, 9 a.m. to noon. It's presented by the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of St. Croix and Interfaith Coalition, co-hosted with DVSAC and WCSC. Just a quick note, the Division of Personnel's Director, Milton Potter, advises the general public that the offices will be closed on Friday, September 1st. The staff will be in an in-service training. Offices will resume normal operation on Tuesday, September 5th, 8 a.m. The staff and management apologizes for any inconvenience. The Schneider Regional Medical Center's Neonatal Intensive Care Unit received a generous gift from the Miracle Baby Supports Foundation. This month, the foundation donated a continuous positive positive airway pressure machine, as well as breast pump kits. Continuous positive airway pressure, commonly called CPAP, is a respiratory support or mechanical ventilation. It's used to deliver constant air pressure into a baby's nose, which helps the air sacs in the lungs stay open and helps prevent apnea. There you see Cleon Boston making that donation there. Schneider's CEO, Dr. Bernard Wheatley, said, "We are thrilled by the Miracle Baby Support Foundation's continued support of Schneider Regional. We wish to express all gratitude for their generous donation, valued at $20,000, and for the $1,019 worth of breast pump kits." Miracle Babies Foundation is a nonprofit organization formed in 2001 by parents who had premature infants who were transported off island to receive critical care needed to survive. The foundation provides support and encouragement to parents and raises money to provide specialized equipment. Since its founding, they have donated more than $170,000 in equipment to the neonatal unit at the Royal Leicester Schneider Hospital. Back to school news time. Well, this summer, the Virgin Islands Police Department formed a committee entitled "It Takes a Village." And the committee is made up of both civilian and sworn personnel, as well as managers from various housing communities, the Shepherd's Fold Community Church, as well as the Women's Coalition. According to the VIPD, the intent of the committee is to start positive relationships with communities throughout the island of St. Croix. And that first endeavor of the community was to hold a back-to-school event that occurred this Saturday at the St. Croix Educational Complex school grounds. Here's more.
And what we wanted to do was be a blessing to the community by having a backpack giveaway, family fun day. Our goal was 500 backpacks. I believe we're around 400 and something backpacks. We've had food, we've had fun, we've had music by MC Bogle, we've had games and relay races, and we've got hundreds of people here that we're able to bless with backpacks and school supplies. Every backpack has been filled with school supplies, and so we've had people donate from the states, we've had people locally that have donated, and everybody took everything that they had to bless our children here in St. Croix.
At this time, we're giving out backpacks. Right now we have elementary school gathering their bags. We had the junior high and the high school who got some of their bags earlier. And we have a lot of different raffles as well. Barbershop raffles, hair salon raffles, laptops, different things. We're just privileged to be able to give back to this community.
What a great donation there. Well, one of the biggest Labor Day celebrations happens in New York, and it's centered around Caribbean culture and more. Kevin Hughes, who's one of the big guys behind the scenes, as well as the past president of Virgin Islands United, who's one of the biggest sponsors of the event, shares more with what those who are heading to New York can expect for Labor Day.
Basically, as the title suggests, it is reflecting on commemorating the 100 years of the transfer of the Virgin Islands from Denmark to the United States. So this is going to be a big show where we are basically using that centennial theme as a way to promote the music and culture of the U.S. Virgin Islands, and hopefully get the more than 8,000 fans who show up every year for this show. Well, the event takes place on Sunday, September 3rd from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Jackie Robinson Park, which is located at 85 Bradhurst Avenue and 145th Street in Harlem, New York City. And we have been doing this show. We're now in our 19th year. So we really, I think, have honed in on what works for us, which is a great blend of classic calypso with today's hit soca and reggae music. And we really carved out a name for ourselves during the big Labor Day West Indian American Day Parade weekend in New York City. So appearing at our show, you're going to see, or hear rather, reggae from Sparkles, who's from the USVI, Misha Steele, she's Belize. You're going to hear Lord Kent representing St. Kitts and Nevis, Lorena Davis and the TKO Band, that's Antigua and Barbuda, The mighty swallow, of course, is a big one for us, and he's the undisputed soca monarch of the world. And of course, he's Antigua Barbuda. And then, of course, our festival headliner this year, as we always change up our headliners, but they're always from the USVI, will be the Sensational Image Band. We always have a big contingent of people from the territory who come up to New York specifically for Caribbean Cultural Fest, as well as other Virgin Islanders who come from all over the U.S., whether it's Atlanta, Florida, from Texas. Virgin Islanders know instinctively, I think the word is out, that Caribbean Cultural Fest is the biggest celebration of Virgin Islands culture and music in North America, and we're really very proud of that designation. So Virgin Islanders know that all roads lead to New York every Labor Day.
And he's in New York right now preparing for the big event. Meanwhile, right here, the biggest celebration we can find on St. Thomas will be held in Smith Bay for the annual Labor Day extravaganza and parade. That's from September 1st to the 4th. 4 days of celebration from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, and then on Sunday 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade from 4 p.m. Lots of great entertainers lined up to perform at Bratwick Village, as the village is named. Tune in tomorrow. We will hear more from Officer Royal Chesterfield. Stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
There's a lot going on here on our satellite. Taking a look at the Central Caribbean, look at these pop-up showers and thunderstorms in places. To the south of us, the windwards. Look at this band of showers heading in their direction. The good news is, for us, really not much going on. So taking a look at Puerto Rico, of course, we could see some downpours in the mountains, very typical. But the rest of the island's pretty quiet. We could see a pop-up shower here or there, but mainly just beautiful conditions. So for tonight, a low of 80 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, 90 degrees in St. John. And of course, we could see a brief trade wind shower pretty much any time across any of the islands. So St. Thomas, 90 degrees. And then St. Croix, just a bit warmer, 91 degrees. Again, mostly sunny. Very brief showers are possible. In the Atlantic, well, we don't have any advisories to tell you about. So if you're going to go swimming, snorkeling perhaps, or fishing, enjoy yourself. Just be careful. The waves are 2 to 4 feet. Winds out of the southeast, 10 to 15 knots, and the Caribbean side, exact same story. Waves 2 to 4 feet, winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots. So very nice conditions out there. Taking a look at our 5-day, well, it's going to be beautiful here really the next couple of days. So a brief shower could be seen on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Temperatures right around 90 to 89 degrees. And then come the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we could see an uptick in showers. A tropical wave will be pushing through the islands. So we could see maybe a little bit more as far as showers and cloud coverage, but still beautiful beach weather. Temperatures right around 90 degrees for our highs. Sandy, back to you.
Thanks for that. Nada Isaac sends in this picture from Lockhart Elementary School, and including some sunshine. Nada, hope you're getting ready for back to school. Thanks for your picture. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address on the screen, and then be sure to tune in right here to see it on News 2. That is all for this edition. Thank you for joining us for all the latest. I'm Sandra Guman saying have a wonderful evening.